Scott, come on in, man.
Yeah.
Sit down.
The
Grab a
man.
mic.
Can I bring my drink out here?
Yeah.
For sure.
It's an adult show for adults. Put the windscreen back on.
My baby may be watching.
Oh, yeah. Okay, yo, your baby can't handle the liquor.
JUNO TV.
Yeah, man. How's it going?
Alcohol.
I know. It's
It's
all
great.
That's just how real we are
I saw
here.
the Red Bull and I was like, you guys have been up for a while.
You know we're down.
We've been going hard.
I know you're hip.
Yeah,
You're
we're
cool with the kids.
We're trying to sort of put out a vibe here. What do you think is the key?
Whose JUNO is that?
That's mine.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I won that for contemporary classical composition in 1993.
Great. You just brought it along.
I was 7, and I was really good at composing classical music, and I just thought, like, I brought my Game Boy and my Jenga and stuff, and I thought I should probably also bring my JUNO.
Okay.
Just to, so
You
people
were
would
quite the
respect
prodigy, weren't you?
and honestly, it all fizzled away.
So Scott's here.
So now,
Scott's here.
I interview people who continue to be promising past age 7. How's it going?
Good.
Yeah.
I don't know. I might not be past age 7 though.
Yeah. What do you think was like your most promising year?
What do you mean?
What year were you like?
I mean, it depends in what capacity, because that's an intense question.
It is, right? I want you to like look back at
When did I hit my prime? Is
yeah,
what
like
you're
at what
asking?
point was someone like, oh, this kid's going? Like when you were like, I'm going places.
Oh,
like when you were 8, when you were 12. Like what for you was like the
it's
year?
Weird. There's like levels. Like when I first got the phone call that I was getting like a meeting with a major record label, I kind of lost my mind a bit, and that was a big moment for me because I was like, I was 15 years old. I was sitting in my friend's basement when we were watching like Seinfeld.
Yeah.
And then my manager.
Do you remember which
Wait,
episode?
the guy wasn't even my manager yet. He just
Yeah.
called me and he was like, "Hey, Warner Brothers wants to." It might have been the Soup Nazi episode. to be
Nice.
honest.
Obviously a
Side
classic.
note.
Shout out
Yeah.
Soup Nazi.
No, but yeah, and then when Bungalow started going to radio and really working, and then I think one of the biggest moments was the MMVAs.
Yeah.
That was a huge thing, and I mean now this. So
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing, like, watching the red carpet, it was so funny because, like, there was this ping-ponging that people would have to do between, like, it was like, go over and, like,
Right.
talk to E-Talk, and then it was like, but then there'd be, like,
Fans
a bunch
and
of
stuff,
fans,
yeah.
like 6 feet behind you that you're trying not to ignore or whatever. How do you, like, adjust to that? I mean, I know that's
don't
a
think you
strange
really
question,
do.
but yeah.
I think you kind of got to level out, and you got to realize that like if you adjust too much to it, then it becomes normal, and then
Yeah.
you get weird. At least that's how I feel.
Is there any advice that people get for, like, not being weird? Like, is anyone like, here's how to not be weird? Or do you have to navigate that on your own?
I think the best advice I got about that was stay Peter Pan,
Yeah.
which is I think really important to be a kid.
What does that mean?
Like be a kid for your whole life, and don't like let that idea of adulthood take over, and you're like, okay, well, I've been nominated for a JUNO and played the MMVAs. I think you just got to keep like alive what made you want to play music in the first place, and I think that's what keeps you sane. But I mean, some people have been weird and it's worked for them, and a great example of that is someone who recently passed away, David Bowie. And I mean, he'll vouch for himself in interviews like, man, I was out of my mind.
Yeah, just steer into the
But
freaky side, yeah.
I think it just depends on who you are, and it depends on how far you want to go. I mean, I think I've gone pretty far in the weird
Yeah.
department. I've gone down those roads of what am I doing, like, and is this good, and you have those dark moments as an artist, but I think you just got to know where your limit is. So
Yeah. It's interesting, also when we're talking about, like, what was it? Is it done? So Mandy has been doing portraits of everyone who comes by to chat.
Okay.
She's at Bad Portraits on Twitter, and it looks like yours is already done.
Oh,
And
great.
they look.
Wait,
yeah.
you drew this?
This looks
You
really
made this.
good.
Oh, that's good, man.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's so cool, man. You just made that right now?
I just made it right now.
I'm gonna give her a hug.
You are.
August 1st.
We'll just hold it up in his place.
Those Forever 29.
Oh, I love that Forever 21. Yeah, man. They're pretty good, right? You can wear it as a mask now, too. So when we were on the red carpet, I had an interesting conversation with Matt Good, who was talking about the fact this is his first JUNOs in 20 years.
Yeah. Really?
And yeah, well, because I grew up, I'm like a huge Matthew Good
Yeah.
fan. Like that was like the defining like first thing I was like a super fan of.
Right.
And so I was like, yo, this is cool. And then I was like, but I know it's like you boycotted the JUNOs forever. And he had said that really for him, it was about sort of trying to find a way to support sort of a new generation of artists, because he's like, it's changed so much. He was like, back in the day, we'd put out a record, it would go gold in a week. And you mentioned you by name, being like, we played together, like we did this tour, and like things have really changed, right? And then he sees that the struggle is very different, and he wants to sort of try to lend whatever support he can to like emerging songwriting talent.
I think that's a really noble thing.
Yeah. Do you feel? Have you had that support from other sort of more elder statespeople in the Canadian music industry?
I mean, I don't think I would be here at all if I didn't have the support from Ron LaPata from Warner Music.
Yeah.
Who really showed me that I could be myself as an artist, and that the only way that my career was going to last is if I did that.
Yeah.
And I mean, I owe him that, because I got signed at 15. When you're 15, record label executives tell you something and you're like, okay, I have no fucking idea what to do. So,
right.
he really like had that integrity of being like, you know what, we want you to be an artist, and we want you to like find who you are and have that with you for your whole career, which I think is really cool. And then not only that, but I think the older musical generation, like I was sitting next to Jim Cuddy at the gala, which was really cool. I met Tom Cochran last night, which was also very cool.
What is
I think all those artists, every time I meet them, they're so down to earth, and they only have like wise things to say. So
It's cool.
yeah. Sorry.
No. I'm sorry I interrupted.
No.
I was just wondering, what does being yourself mean to you? Like, what does that mean in terms of like, what do you have to fight against in that sense? I know for me,
I think you have to like, as an artist, without all this stuff, I think you have to dig really, really deep and find out what you want to say, and you have to fight against like being afraid of being vulnerable, but also being kind of like mysterious enough. Like that whole battle. There's so many things, but you also have to fight against like having other people fit you into like a box, because it's so easy. Like, and anytime someone's like, "What genre are you?" I'm like, I mean, you fucking tell me. I don't know, because I mean, then you start saying, okay, well, I made this record, so I can't make this record now. But I mean, who's to say that? And I think there's always a battle. And,
it's cool.
And I think you have to like, it's the whole songwriting process is so mysterious and so strange and frightening, and like it's really scary, because I have no idea how it works. I walk into a writing room and then all of a sudden, I have a song, and you have to stay like, you have to stay yourself. You can't let people change you. So I don't know. There's a lot of stuff, but I think those are probably like.
Well, it seems like you've navigated it pretty well so far, man.
So far.
And congratulations, you got your beer.
I got my new drawing.
You got your portrait. We'll let you get back to the party, man.
Thanks. Yeah, I don't know why that conversation took a turn, but
I
I'm
like
so
that.
happy
good.
to be
Nice,
here.
it's nice to have a serious chat.
Yeah,
no, good.
I
thank
appreciate
you.
it.
Cool.
So enjoy, go out and, now
Cheers.
have less serious chats. Cheers, man.
Bam.
Thanks
yeah,
so
thanks so much.
Good to
Take
meet
your
you, man.
portrait.
I will, yeah.
Cheers,
Cheers,
dude.
guys.
Have a good one.